How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Welcome to another episode of the Tactical Empire. Let's get right into it. Shawn, what are we talking about, man?
Let's go. We have an exciting event for anyone that wants to come on board and work with you and I absolutely for free for 3 days. I'm not going to bury the lead at all today. So we are running a 3-day virtual mid-year reset. We teased this out about a month and a half, 2 months ago. And here we are a week away from knocking that out. We are going to start that series on Monday, July 21st. Monday, July 21st. It's going to be a 3-day event. We're going to do every other day. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of the week of July 21st. We're going to launch the Zoom sessions at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and they're going to run about 45 minutes. We're going to keep it super efficient, super direct and to the point. We're not going to dive down big rabbit holes. We're just going to do what's needed to be done halfway through the year. This is for individuals and couples, and this is your opportunity to hear from Jeff and I on how we assess how the front side of the year has gone, and then how we adjust if necessary on the second half of the year. Me and my wife actually kind of pseudo did this about a week or two ago and came to some conclusions. It was very, very important for us and our family as we get halfway through the summer. So Jeff, I kind of want you to take it from here. Talk about how, it's just a fact. People drift not only halfway through the year, but we see them drift halfway through 90-day plans. Every quarter, people are drifting, 30 to 45 days in. But halfway through the year, we have summer, we have all that good stuff. We have kids, either events are ramping up or winding down. And then we have nice weather. So people drift. It's a fact. And then why is it important for either individuals or couples to come in and be led by us as opposed to doing it on their own? Just run with it, my man.
Yeah, I think it's important to get, a third party perspective from sometimes, but it's also important to just understand guidance and coaching can take you a long way. I mean, you could do all this stuff on your own for sure. Some people do. We do occasionally, but we also have coaches and mentors to guide us and question what we're doing. And so if you haven't worked through this structure ever, then it's going to be fun. But it's also just a time to kind of reflect and ask some questions of where you're at, check in, take the pulse. Were your intended goals still your goals? What happened? Also, it's an opportunity to maybe assess where you're at on things, and then just determine if the direction for the back half of the year is still what you think it should be. That's why we use waterfall targets and things like that, and that I think are so much more effective and important than specific goals with real timelines. Because ultimately, you're looking for those things that are going to be game changers in your life over and over and over again. And for high performers, they oftentimes want more, and it's never fast enough. And so some of it is overwhelm with so many things to do too. And ultimately it's about getting narrow on what's important to you. 6 months is plenty of time to kind of lose sight of what's truly important to you too. So you may have had a booming fucking half year in business or something, but you may realize that the family's a little bit off or something like that. And so it's always a good time to check in. You may be a little fatter than you started the year, and that wasn't the intention, but your bank account might be a little fatter too. I think some of us, that's why we work on the 4 pillars and things like that, because we're looking for well-rounded people that are looking for expansion in all areas, not just one area. Right. And so, but there's an equal and opposite reaction to every proactive movement, and you have to understand, and then it helps to have like somebody to ask questions to on whether maybe like it's just the season you're in, and you do need to focus on business, and that's going to require a little bit more time or something like that, and there's always trade-offs to everything, and sometimes you want to make sure that you're intentionally making those trade-offs without just getting blinders on or living in a space or a spot of scarcity, and operating from that energy, if you will, um, for too long. You want to make sure that you're doing everything with intentionality, and that's one of our big concepts. And we just doing mid-year check-ins like that, like this, that we're gonna guide you through is just one of those things. I mean, adding tools to your toolbox so that you can be more intentional about what you're doing, being crystal clear on what the next biggest item is for you. And I mean, those are the ideas of what's important. I like sitting in on events like this. Oftentimes, I do it all the time with other people, other coaches as well, to just understand the concepts and the ideas that they're teaching as well, so that we can, so that I can add them to my toolbox if they're beneficial. Because ultimately, that's what it's all about. I mean, you've got to find what works for you, and then you add it to your toolbox, if you will, and determine if it's something that enriches your life. And if it is, then you keep on doing it, right?
Yeah, I like what you said about jumping into other people's ways and how they do it. I think every group kind of has their pillars that they build foundations on, and ours happen to be family, fitness, finances, and freedom. And I mean, that's really what brought me into the tactical empire. Is like, I don't. I mean, we I know a lot of people add faith in there, but I think that's just a part of uh, the freedom component and
Hmm.
family component of what we do, right? Because people think freedom is strictly just freedom of time, but we talk about freedom of mind, and I think spirituality or however you define faith, is part of the freedom component, right? Like
100%.
if I believe in God or some other spirituality, or I just practice stoicism and that's it, or nothing, like you're still doing it for a reason to improve yourself, and that's personal growth, and with personal growth comes hopefully the freedom to live the life that you want to live. And so regardless if our pillars align with your pillars, you're going to pull something out from what we do that your family and you as an individual probably work on. Okay, so it's really not that much time. You're going to be coming on 3 days a week, 45 minutes. How do you foresee this playing out over 3 days next week? Like, we have our outline, we're good to go. But in your mind, from point A to point Z, or let's say point C, ABC, 3 days, like, what do you hope people get out of it?
Well, I mean, I think some of the time it depends. I hope that each and every person that shows up and invests their time and energy and focus, I hope they get exactly what they need. I mean, ultimately, that's what it's about. Like I told you, I attend these to get additional tools, and maybe a different way of thinking about certain things. But also, like a lot of people, it's going to be to get them unstuck, or they might be in a funk because of the things you talked about. They might be drinking too much and eating too much and having a little too many barbecues in summertime. Summertime, there's a drag of a hangover because the kids are around, and there's just constant stuff to do. Pools, barbecues, and it's not, that's none of that shit's going to slow down either. I mean, we're like 50 days from football season, so like it's just going to ramp up. So you really have to prioritize what's important to you and get back on track. And then yeah, I mean, I hope they get exactly what they need. We're going to deliver a variety of tools and topics, but like and they should be broad enough that they can fit anybody.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. We're here to provide the tools and some overarching broad guidance, but it really comes down to you and your partner to really decide how this plays into your life. For us individually, like, I think it's fair to say that sometimes we think we're going to make decisions and they're going to make our life better, because we took this from someone else, we took this from someone else. We thought that was going to play into what we wanted, and then sometimes they're just not going well. So I think looking at mid-July, coming up on the end of summer, this is a prime time to like figure out, hey, this thing that we thought was going to work out a certain way isn't really going in the direction that we thought. So do we need to stick it out for a little bit longer, or is this an opportunity to pivot? So stepping aside 3 days in 1 week, I think it's a good opportunity for people to just create that space and have those conversations. The showing up is going to be easy. Listening and learning and understanding what we're talking about, it's going to be easy. But especially if you're with a partner, it can cause some tough conversations to be had. So you have to come in with an open mind in having those conversations and knowing what I as an individual want, what my partner as an individual want, and then what we want as a cohesive unit, and which one of those things are more important in certain areas of life, what take precedent right now in this season of life. Do we adjust now and then come back to a certain game plan later? Like, all of these options are on the table. And that's what I like about it, as opposed to just continually sweeping things under the rug. Because there are people that are attending this that are taking actions that they felt were going to be moving them in the right direction, and they're not, but they're avoiding the conversations to be had. So join Jeff and I. We make it very easy for you guys to do the task and then allow space for your partners and or yourself to think about what it is that you want. We just had an accelerator call with a gentleman, young guy, right? Single, doesn't really have anyone else that they have to worry about. And he doesn't know what he wants to be and become and what he wants. It's like, when you talk about broad stroke, it's a very broad stroke. And so, we said that next week we're going to do just a visualization exercise with him, where we're just going to go deep for himself. The mid-year reset isn't the opportunity for us to go deep, right? That is annual planning. That is, working in the 90-day accelerator onboarding curriculum that we have. But this is the time where people are going to talk about what they wanted, the goals they said they wanted, the actions they thought were going to help them get them there, and then reassess that around mainly the 4Fs. And then we are going to be here for support for people in case they get stuck in making some of those decisions or thinking through some of those exercises. What else, Jeff? Anything else for the people?
Ultimately, it's a good time to sit down and determine what you want out of the rest of the year. That's kind of how I look at it, because it's already almost time to start planning 2026. If you're a business owner, for sure it is. By the time you hit Q4, you better be, September, October timeframe is the 26 planning should be done. And so, like, this is an opportunity to sit down and say, well, how am I going to finish the last 5 months of the year? And what do I want out of each aspect of my life? What do I want for my family life? What do I want for my business life? How do I want my investing and finances to be? And it's really just an opportunity to lay that out, so that you can get crystal clear on what that roadmap looks like, so that you can move into 26 planning with clarity. Because, like, this shit's just going to get done. And it's a great opportunity. Hope you guys will take advantage of it.
All right. So we will have the link in the show notes. If you don't follow us on Instagram or Facebook, we have the links going out there. If you're not on our email list, the link's going out there. And at the end of the day, if you can't find the link, please DM Jeff or I on Instagram to get signed up. Again, that is Monday, July 21st, Wednesday, July 23rd, and Friday, July 25th, 11 a.m. Eastern, virtual, 45 minutes on Zoom. Jeff, send the people out.
Yep. Come join us, guys. Invest in yourself. It's free of charge. Should be a great opportunity to jam with us. We'll run some Q&As. You guys can get our feedback on your plans, and looking forward to it. Have a great week. Follow us on all the socials. Give us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Join our Tactical Empire Facebook community. We'll be having a lot of activity out there, and you guys can ask any questions you want out there. So hopefully we'll see you next Monday.